Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to Wow Me Wednesday, where I'm giving you some tips on how to communicate with more confidence. I got a question from a friend of mine, Amy Aristoteles, about on-camera makeup. She just recently wrote and published a book, congratulations Amy, and is being invited to do news interviews and Skype interviews. So she wanted to know how much makeup is appropriate to wear on camera. And I figured this would be a good opportunity for me to share some of those tips with all of you. I'm also going to share certain types of makeup that I use, as well as some of my reporter friends that I've gone to school with and worked with in the past. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How much makeup to wear and what products are good to wear on camera. Now let me start off by saying that I'm not much of a makeup person, relatively speaking. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not wearing a ton of makeup. In fact, I didn't wear makeup till I was in college, and I was forced to because I was an anchor on our college newscast. And I remember clearly I only had powder and lipstick on, and I went on air like that. And a grad student, thank goodness for her, pulled me aside and told me, hey, you might want to color in your eyebrows. That's gonna help you stand out more. And thank you so much for that advice. It's something that has changed my life for the better, day in and day out. I still color in my eyebrows every day, whether or not I'm on camera. So that was a savior for me. Since college, I've learned a lot more about makeup. I've sat at a lot of makeup counters and with tutorials, and I've had a lot of practice being an anchor and a reporter for several years. Oftentimes, I'd have to put on my makeup so quickly because I'm running late for a deadline and I just have a few minutes to put it on. So you're stuck with the time that you have to apply your makeup, and you're doing it in the truck, live truck, and it just feels like a mess and chaotic. And it might surprise you to know that, yes, us reporters, we reporters and anchors do our own makeup, most of us. I'd say when you get to the bigger markets like LA and many stations in San Francisco, New York, probably the anchors on the Today Show, Good Morning America, the evening news, they have their own makeup and hair artists. But we reporter folk who are busting our butts out there, we're doing our own hair and makeup. And we sometimes would have makeup artists come in if we had photo shoots and that sort of thing, but that was a special occasion. So I wanted to give you some tips now. When it comes to how much makeup you should wear, it depends on a few things. Are you in studio or are you outside? If you're in studio, maybe you're being interviewed by your local news station, then I would definitely recommend full coverage makeup. You're gonna have full studio lights on you. It's going to be in HD, so your blemishes and little details, those flyaway hairs, are going to be more noticeable. So if you're going to be outside, then you might not have to worry about as much coverage. You're going to be dealing with some more natural lighting and some shadows, and the camera may not be as close up. So there's different factors to think about there. Another thing to think about besides in studio or outside is the topic you are talking about. If it's a workout segment, then do you go to the gym with full makeup on and eyelash extensions and blush and everything? Maybe you do, but I think most of us don't. So you want to look authentic and appropriate for the topic. What are you wearing? Are you wearing workout clothes, or are you wearing something more professional, or maybe a nice dress? Then if you're looking more professional, a suit, a nice blazer, then yeah, wear more makeup. That's appropriate. But if you're more casual, then you can probably get away with less coverage. So let me show you and point out some products that I like, as well as some of my reporter friends, and that I use. So here's my little makeup bag here. I want to start off by sharing with you my go-to MAC Studio Fix powder that I've been wearing for, 16 years, whether or not I'm on camera. And so this is great because it's very matte And it's really easy. I don't even wear foundation. I never even did when I was an anchor. So this is pretty thick and so has enough coverage to be able to hide certain blemishes. I'd say out of the 5 reporter friends who I polled through Facebook, they also shared that they use primarily MAC products. And so I think most of us use this Studio Fix. I talked with a former MAC makeup artist today as well, and he recommended Matte Studio Fix Fluid, which is a foundation. And so he said that there's no bounce back, meaning there's no reflection off of studio lights, which is really important. So Studio Fix is key, I'd say. All right, what else is in my makeup bag? Before putting on my Studio Fix, I definitely need concealer to hide some of those blemishes. So I don't necessarily recommend all of these products. I'm not, like I said, a big makeup person. I like to be economic when I'm spending on my makeup. So keep that in mind. So I use Honest Beauty Concealer. And also I'm trying to be more mindful about paraben-free and the toxic chemicals in the makeup. I also use an eye primer, so that's MAC too. So I use it below and above my eyes to keep my eye makeup from dripping and melting all over my face. So that's the base before the Studio Fix. On top of the Studio Fix, I use a bronzer for some contour and some color. And I use blush to add contour underneath my cheeks. And that's really important, I think, for being on camera, to really bring out the cheekbones. And for my eyes, I use mascara. So this is like cheap drugstore mascara. My friend Ramona, who I used to work with in Norfolk, Virginia, she also admits that she just uses some cheap drugstore mascara usually. So you don't need to spend a lot, especially if you're not doing videos all the time. If this is a one-off thing or you're doing a couple, you don't have to spend a lot of money on your makeup. Eyebrows are key, as I mentioned. So I like to use, it's basically like an eyeshadow, but with this cool angled brush for my eyebrows. And another cool tip, I use eyeliner and mascara, of course. After my eyeliner, I use this eyeshadow that matches my eyebrows to add another layer to my eyeliner to help hold it in. So that helps with the bleeding of the eye makeup to avoid that. I use gloss, I use lip liner, I should say, and lipstick. Right now I'm not wearing eyeshadow, but I also often would wear eyeshadow if I'm doing a more in-depth on-camera production. So that said, if you're someone who doesn't wear a lot of makeup, I'm working with a client right now who doesn't wear any makeup day to day, and we are doing working on an intro video for her, I would recommend powder, depending on your eyebrows. Mine are really faint, so I need to draw them in, maybe draw on your eyebrows, maybe add some blush and mascara, and that could be enough for you. You just don't want to be shiny. You want to be matte and not shimmery or dewy. So different words to say shiny. All right. Other recommendations from my reporter friends. My friend Maya, who I used to work with in San Diego, she wears eyelash extensions. So she said she doesn't wear a full set, but she just adds them to the outside edges of her eyes, which is enough. So you have to experiment with it. Don't just go in for the first time with false eyelashes and just go on camera ready to go, but practice and also see how it looks on camera. Do a practice recording for yourself, because you don't want it to be fluttering away and look like there's a spider basically sitting on top of your eyelid, right? So practice these tips before actually going live or doing your interview with a news station. Some hair tips. You want to watch out for those flyaways. You can see some of mine right now. So when I was an anchor, I would often use hairspray to spray those babies down. Maya, my friend in San Diego, also mentioned how she uses Static Guard and sprays it on her hairbrush to brush those little flyaways down. You could also use hairspray and spray it in what I've also read is a toothbrush. So it's smaller bristles to get those little teeny tiny flyaways. And I haven't forgotten about you men out there. Even if you are on camera, don't think you're too macho to wear makeup to look good, right? You want to take out that shine. So even if you're using those little blotting papers, that could help, but it doesn't hurt to just have some powder on. You want to watch out though. I remember this guy from college who would wear so much foundation, you could see the line under his chin. So you got to watch out for that, especially if you're not used to wearing makeup and blending with bronzer on your neck. So keep that in mind. And really, really important tip, you got to be comfortable. To communicate with confidence, you got to feel comfortable in how you look, what you're wearing, how your hair is, so that you don't feel like a fraud. You want to be genuine. So really, really important to mention there. Don't feel like you have to go all out if it's just not you and you're not going to be able to perform and get your information, your really valuable information about you and your business out there. Hope this was helpful for you guys. Please share in the comments below what your questions are and what makeup or tips you recommend. And if you'd like to keep in touch, I would love to be able to send you my latest and most popular videos and some other tips I have and announcements I have for workshops coming up. So please go to my website, jessicachangconsulting.com, and leave me your email address. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.